On today's episode of Mark Builds Things in People's Backyards, we're going to turn this using some of these and some of this into one of these. So let's get to it. Raised garden beds right now. Step 1, trash can. Step 2, level the playing field. And by level, I don't mean horizontal. I mean, this is undulating, and we want our boxes to lay flat. So what I'm going to do with the absolutely handiest little tool I never thought I'd use, that I use all the time, is I'm going to chew this up a little, rake out a trench nice and flat, and we'll put the sides, top and bottom of our box right where we want them. 1, 2, skip a few. Here we go. How does it work? Quick tip for if you're operating your cultivator in reverse. Your cord doesn't know which direction it's going. So be mindful that you mind the cord. All right, that's it. Step 3, get your metal tine rake and lower the high spots and raise the lower spots. If you're working in an enclosed space like I am, it pays to measure both sides of your box, because here I get 15 feet, but here I get almost 15.6. So if I'd only measured in one place, I have a 50-50 shot of the box fitting in here, or it being the wrong shape, or it not fitting at all. How about that? That's pretty about it. Next, let's cut the longs to length. When I cut pressure-treated lumber like this, sometimes the ends, when they sit and dry out at retail, start to check. In other words, a check is a crack along the grain. And in the mill, sometimes they don't get cut super square. So that I don't have to deal with that condition later, this is what I do. Very simple. I'll square one end, like so. And this is the proof in the pudding right here. This piece had started to check to the point where it just split. So now I know my length over here is 15. So I'm going to go 15 feet minus 3 inches, which is 180, 177, baby. And cut them. Quick tip, in case you didn't know this, these are heavy. So what I do, save the old back, is use a little leverage to lift them into place. Smart, just like an Egyptian. Oh, I love that smell. Oh. What's the country song? I'm not as good once as I once was. In this episode of Mark Overdoes Everything, Mark overdoes it. Dig yourself a couple holes. Show you what these are for. Just a sec. Be gone, doit. Be gone. It doesn't even need to be a stake. They never go in straight, and if you hit too hard, it'll deform your board here. Just give it a little tappy tap tap. And what we're doing here is giving a little ballast, so when all the dirt, soil, and activity in here happens, this won't be inclined to bow out. That's all. Here you have it. One more to go. Next step, flush up and fasten the ends. Those are nice and flat. I'm flush here. Here's a little something I've learned along the way too. Got my number 10 by 3 inch Spax HCRX coated screws. And unlike most applications, say you're fastening a deck board down, usually you're fastening into edge grain. Here you're fastening into end grain, and what I've noticed is that the threads of the screw really like to auger in and catch, enabling you to really close this joint up if you go in slow. So the way I do it is I just goose it a little bit. That way, screw threads catch the end grain. I can close this, get a nice tight look right here, and hide behind this for every single inch of this take. What's wrong with me? Countersink them. So that's about it from here. I'll take some fancy shots when I clean all this up, and I bid you a good DIY adieu.